guys, it's Tarot with Kittens, Weights, and Tarot, and today I actually wanted to join in one of those cool hashtags that's going around on YouTube, and the one that I wanted to do is Arwen hashtag Tarot Tag 15. I have been absent from the internet for about 9 days just because everything has been kind of hectic, but now I'm on spring break and so I've decided to make a few videos. So the first question asks, what is your current fave deck? And that was really hard to do since I love all of my decks and I like to use all of my decks. You know, I'm not one of those seasonal people where it's like, for this season I just only want to use these decks, or you know, around this time I just use these decks. I like to use all my decks all the time. But I would say my fave deck for right now, if we're talking Oracle, would be the New Age Hipster Insta Oracle. And some of you guys may have seen this floating around on the interweb. But I just love all of these cards. I really connect with them. I love the images. They're just so personal. You know, Vix of New Age Hipster, these are just pictures from her, you know, her phone and things like that, and she just kind of put them together. But I find that they're really good for reading, so this is one of my favorite decks. And if we're talking tarot, then my current favorite deck is the Medicine Woman tarot. So it's like connecting with an old friend. Here's the card backs. Whenever I use this tarot, it's like, yeah, it's like coming home, you know. It's like something that you, I don't know, it feels like childhood. It feels like just, I don't know, it feels nostalgic in a way. Very, very Six of Cups. Yeah. So definitely one of my favorite decks as of late. But like I said, I like to use all of my decks, so, you know. Question 2 asks, what is a tarot card that stands for who I am now? So instead of me just choosing a card, I thought I would let the universe choose a card for me, and I am using my Pusheen the Cat tarot deck. So this wasn't a deck that you could buy or anything. This was actually on the web, and you could, you know, download the images and create your own tarot deck, which I did, and I did it on nice linen cardstock. So I don't know if you guys could see the texture, but there are the backings and here's the cards. So okay, so let's give this a little shuffle. So what card represents who I am right now, this very moment, April 9th, 2017. Okay. You know, I was kind of wondering if this would come up, and it did. I am in a, there's a lot of change going on, not only in like my work world, but also kind of like mentally and spiritually. There's a lot of shifting and change going on. So it's not like scary bad stuff or anything, but there's definitely a big shift that's making me question a lot of things and make me really take a good hard look at myself and what I really want, and you know, what's really in my heart, as opposed to, you know, materialistically, what do I want, you know, and things like that. So I would say that this is correct. That's kind of embodies who I am right now. I am the Tower. And actually last night our little Puma Wally was knocking shit off the dresser like a crazy head. What tarot card stands for who do I think I want to be? I want to be, hold on, let me go through here. Eventually I would like to be the High Priestess. I would like to embody that energy, that just all-encompassing deep knowing, just having my hands in so many different pots of knowledge, you know, and being able to impart that knowledge onto others, being able to take everything that I've learned and help others learn for themselves, you know, everything that their soul's purpose needs to know. So moving on to the next question. Question 4. What does the universe want me to know right now? So I'm actually going to use Vix's Oracle for this. so what's the universe want me to know? Right, whoa, we got a pop out here. This card's never popped out for me before. Wild ponies. And that's awesome because I love horses. Like, I'm total like horse energy person. Like, I know that I am surrounded by a lot of horse energy. Definitely one of my spirit animals. So I think really what they're wanting me to know is to not feel bound or restricted by want. You know, like I want this, I want that, and you know, and you know, being in that state, more being in a state of freedom and just doing, just being, you know, kind of like these ponies. These ponies aren't thinking about, well, in 5 years I would like this. And I mean, it's good to be in that state too. It's good to have a plan, obviously, and not just kind of be a roving gypsy, but have a plan, but don't be so rigid in and caught up in, I have to do this because I want this, and not leave any room for freedom. And so I think that's what the universe is trying to tell me right now, is just be a little bit more free and a little less locked into that state of want. Very good. Question 5 asks, are there any tarot cards that I must love in order to work with tarot? No. I mean, if you only liked certain cards and say, well, I'm just gonna leave out these because I don't like them, you know, I don't resonate with them right now, then I don't think you would have a complete reading. So I don't think you have to like all the cards. You know, we don't like everything that life throws at us, but oftentimes it's necessary. So I don't think you have to like all of the cards. Question number 6, why tarot and not another divination system? I work with tarot mainly, but I work with many other divination systems, so it's not like I cast them all aside. You know, I work with Lenormand, I have pendulums, I scry, I do like I read with seashells, you know, there's a lot. Question 7 is my first book that I ever read that's not a little white book about tarot, and that would be the hardcover giant like enchanted tarot book. I don't have it with me because I ended up gifting that deck, which by the way was my very first deck, to my best friend Charmaine, who is off at LA Opera right now, and she's finishing up Tales of Hoffman. But yeah, that was my first foray into like reading about tarot, and spreads, and you know what certain cards meant in certain, you know, positions, and to me it was like overwhelming because I felt like I had to learn like every position, and you know you know, and all of that. And so to me, I think the reason I ended up gifting that deck is because even though I later on learned to read intuitively, it was just so much frustration surrounding that deck, you know, of like, you know, I have to learn all this, and you know, this is so difficult, and I was also going through a time of, well, you know, I had a very Catholic background, and so tarot and things like that were seen as like the work of the devil, or working with the devil, or you know, things like that. And so even though I didn't truly believe that, I mean, I was very interested in all things metaphysical and tarot and mystical and things like that, I still had that little nagging thing in the back of my head that was telling me that what I'm doing is somehow bad or frowned upon, or not good for me, or I could get hurt somehow. But yeah, that was the first book I ever read on tarot. Okay, question number 8. A tarot person I'd love to sit down and have a chat with about tarot. Okay, so this person isn't strictly a tarot person. This actually is a famous medium, and that is Theresa Caputo from the Long Island Medium. I just think she is hilarious. I think she's awesome. I think that if you could sit down with her and just have a chat, and I know she does, you know, cards and things like that too, so I think it would just be awesome to just maybe just hang out with her, you know. You know, have a tea, or you know, and just hang out, maybe talk some tarot, talk some mediumship practices, things like that. I think it would be awesome. I think she's the bomb. Question number 9 was a little more difficult because it asks, what is one YouTube channel that you watch and why? I watch several YouTube channels. I've tried to mention some of my top YouTube channels, but I feel like I leave so many people out when I know that there's so many good YouTubers out there with so much good information. So one I haven't mentioned is the Sea Priestess, and mega props to her. I love her channel. It's, you know, what she has to say is so open and so raw, and she's very transparent in what she does, and she doesn't hold anything back. She's not rude or brash in any way, but you know, I just love her easygoing style. You know, that's kind of like me, you know, and I think that we would get along well if we ever got to hang out, but she's way over there across the pond, you know, so but definitely check out the Sea Priestess. She's pretty freaking awesome sauce. Question 10, how many tarot decks do I own? Okay, so I broke this up into actually tarot decks, and then how many tarot and how many decks like total, like encompassing that's Oracle, Lenormand, regular playing cards, past life reading cards, tea leaf reading cards, all that stuff. So if we're just talking tarot decks, it's 55. If we're talking all my decks in total, 133. Plus one that I've been waiting for forever, which should be coming next week, and it's coming through Canadian Post, and that is the Sacred Creators Oracle. So been waiting for that one for a while. Number 11, do I mix tarot and oracle when I read? Yes. I believe that you can get a clearer picture of what's going on. Not that you can't get a clear picture using just either one, but I think it paints a more unique picture of a situation. You know, if you have, let's say, a tarot card down, you know, I'm getting my little intuitive downloads, and I can definitely read with it, but then if you throw a tarot or an oracle card with it, then it's like really coloring the reading. You're like, oh wow, you know, you can look at things from like a different perspective, and I think that's really awesome. I don't always read with both. It's if I'm called to read with both, basically. Number 12 is, have I ever created my own tarot and or oracle deck? I have created both. They are not for sale, obviously, because they're not my images, but one that I keep in my little pouch here. I call it my athletes tarot, and it has the Olympic flame, because I'm, you know, I was an NC2A athlete, I'm, you know, a track and field coach, I am like a total jock, you know, so I have, you know, all these awesome images that really resonate with me personally for tarot. So yeah, so that's my athletes tarot. Let's see if I can find a good one in here. We have Wilma Rudolph, Junior Seau, C.T. Fletcher, oh yeah, and Muhammad Ali. So yeah, that's my athletes tarot, and I'm thinking one day, because I seriously want to create my like own deck that I could actually like sell and, you know, publish. And I think it would be something, you know, maybe I can create an oracle deck with my little puma Wally. I think that would be cool. I don't know, a Shira deck, a Shira oracle deck I think would be really awesome. I don't know, I have a lot of ideas for something that I could, you know, sell to people someday. My oracle deck that I created, which I keep in my little box here, I call it my Donna di Ispirazione, which is Inspirational Woman oracle deck. And this one I had laminated and I just painted like the backs of these cards, and I have a little video of, you know, me creating this. There's actually quite a few cards here, but I'm just pulling out a few of them, and I just cut out pictures from magazines, you know, pictures that I resonated with and that I thought I could do a pretty good reading with. So yeah, this is my a little oracle deck here. Question number 13 is, do I ever read for myself? Yes. I mean, we can't always be reading for clients, so, you know, how do you, I mean, I love, you know, doing tarot, and I love, you know, playing around with cards, so I'm like constantly reading for myself, you know. But, you know, I think it's always cool for, especially if you're really close to a situation, to have somebody else read for you. So I do that every once in a while. Number 14, fave questions to be asked when doing a reading for someone. Any questions having to do with the passing over of a pet. Like I really resonate with animal energy, and I found out I can connect spiritually to animals. You know, I'm able to see not only the deceased and energies and, you know, all of that stuff, and you know, feel and hear things, but I'm really connected to animal energy, and so I love connecting to people's pets, because I know that it's something that doesn't always come up. People are usually always asking about you know, grandpa who died or their mother who died, and I don't think that there are a lot of people out there that read for connecting with pets, and so that's kind of one of my favorite things to do. I like seeing the joy and healing that people get when I get to read and connect with their furry, scaly, feathery little loved ones. And the last question is, what is the craziest thing that ever happened during a reading? Okay, so this happened I guess about a month or two ago, with my best friend Agnes, and she needed a reading for, I don't know, something going on with work, but anyway, I pulled out a couple of decks, one of them being the Crystal Mandala, and I forgot what the other deck was, and these people, like spiritual energies, popped up, and one of them presented themselves as being kind of like a queen, you know, like I just see like the crown and things, something like that, and then this other person shows up, and he's kind of like an old man, and I think he's like kind of drunk, which I thought was odd, and so I'm like describing these people to her, and she's like, I don't know, and she goes, that's not like anybody I knew, you know, so it's not like a you know, some deceased people that she knew. So I'm like, okay, well, they could be guides or whatever, and she's like, great, one of my guides is drunk, that's just what I need. So I'm like, okay, so I'm like doing the reading, and the Crystal Mandala card that I pull for her is about standing in her own, you know, being her own queen, basically. And I realized that the queen that was standing next to me was an archetype for her, you know, what the energy that she needed to embody. And I was like, okay, that's cool. You know, I've never really seen archetypes before. Like, that was pretty cool. And then the guy next to me starts saying words in Polish. Okay, I know like zero Polish, like none. And my friend is Polish, you know, she's from a little village in Poland, and so I'm just like phonetically, and by the way, I'm like doing this all over text with her, and so I'm like phonetically trying to type out or spell out what this guy is saying in Polish, and like I have no idea of, like, you know, there's always that questioning, like, am I really seeing this? Am I really hearing this? And so, like, I say Solbeki, like, I don't know what that is. And she went, oh my God, that's my favorite vodka. And I was like, oh, Solbeki, is that a vodka? Because, like, I'm like a wine drinker, so I'm not really, like, into, I don't really know all the, like, liquors. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. I guess that's how this guy is connecting with you. Interesting. And then I would have to look back at my text, but there was a couple other words that I phonetically spelled to her, and they were actual words in Polish, and it was like blowing me away. Like I've never connected in a foreign language and was able to translate that or get that foreign language to the other person and that they would understand. Like, to me, that was so, like, verifying of, like, what you are seeing and what you're doing is real and it's helping. And so I thought that was just like freaking awesome. She was like, oh my gosh, like, you're speaking Polish, and I'm like, I am. I'm like, this is rad. And then when the reading was done, she was like, next time, could you like connect with somebody who's not, you know, half in the bag? I was like, hey, I don't get to pick these people. These people just show up. So anyway, I thought that was pretty crazy. I'm pretty sure I've had some other weird readings, but that takes the cake for like right now. That is the end of Arwen's hashtag tarot tag 15. And I would love to see all the other hashtag tarot tag 15s out there. I've already watched a bunch on YouTube, but you know, if you want to make one, it's not too late. It's never too late, you know. I mean, obviously it's not like this thing just came out. I just decided that it was awesome and I wanted to make one. So there you go. All right. So, I guess I will see you guys another time. All right, peace, love, and chicken grease. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to click subscribe, and if you would like to get a reading with me, don't forget to check out the information box below and check out my website or my Etsy shop, where I have a lot more variety of reading. All right, so I look forward to seeing your comments, talking to you guys, and possibly reading for you. All right, peace, love, and chicken grease. Peace out.